I've been at Verta for kind of really spent a fair amount of time here. Been here for over 5 years now. We're a medical clinic, and so we do have physicians, but we deliver all of our care via technology. So we don't have any brick and mortar clinics, and we operate in all 50 states. So we've got patients across all 50 states, and we really focus on diabetes care. And so there are two pieces to what we do. The left-hand side is really personalized nutrition care. But the thing that I want to focus on is something that Dr. Bindra spoke a little bit about when she was talking about CGMs or when she was talking about, sensors, is we do have biomarkers. So we have, and someone asked a question on checking blood sugar. I'll let Dr. Bindra answer that question from a care standpoint, but our doctors tell our patients at what frequency to test their biomarkers and put them into our system. And then by putting it into the system, we actually run what we call, a technology-enabled continuous remote care platform. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time today talking more about this continuous remote care platform as the technology behind how we actually deliver care. And so again, it's a pretty high-tech approach. We kind of coach people on what nutritional changes to make, as Dr. Bindra said. Nutrition, exercise, et cetera, are very important to changing care. We offer, we have health coaching. Everybody that is a Verta patient has a health coach and a physician. And so they're really able to personalize a lot of the nutritional protocol, a lot of the exercise regimen and all. But the way they personalize it that I think is really interesting is this biomarker logging. So every one of our patients gets a glucometer and a ketone meter, a connected weight scale, a connected blood pressure cuff. In addition, in our app, they're inputting a lot of subjective data. And then that leads to, on the back end in our EMR, our physician to provide proactive care, whether that's medication deprescription or further coordination across the system. So due to that technology, this is one of the things that, Dr. Bindra was saying, how difficult it is to establish trust across a screen. What we've found is that while what you lack in kind of the in-person model, which she's absolutely right. You can't hold someone's hand and see them individually. What you can do, though, is have really frequent interactions. And so our health coaches are often talking to our patients. And when I say talking, they're texting and messaging our patients in our app 2 to 4 times a day. And so that level of interaction allows kind of really proactive intervention with patients. And it's based on kind of this 24/7 data collection, right? Like we're getting blood glucose levels as they happen. We're getting ketone levels as they happen. We're getting weight levels as they happen. And so on the back end, we're able to take all of that data, and because it's all, to Dr. Bindra's point, in an EMR and structured, we're able to drive really personalized recommendations for all of our patients. Hey, Amit, you need to do X, which is very different than what Hitesh might need to do. And it's all kind of pulled together by our care team and our physicians. So it enables us to, this is kind of, it's an internal metric, so I won't spend too much time on it, but it shows, how things vary over time, and it's pretty real time. We're able to track things for patients over time, and then do both at the population level and at the individual level interventions. And on the back end, the interesting technology in our EMR is, most EMRs, as Dr. Bindra might concede, are like kind of nice. They're for care tracking, but they're heavily built around billing. And ours is really built very much around using this data to drive proactive outreach. And so, our physicians would get some version of a, algorithmic prioritization of their patients in their population with a summary and some things that they need to do. They would then, they would get a real-time clinical alert around something that is going on. And then it also suggests to them what intervention might make the most sense, given all the data that we have and the machine learning algorithm that would then, indicate what intervention might work. And so we kind of liken it to, like, instead of, really like the decision support system that allows us to drive really effective care based on real glucose data and real ketone data that the patient is giving us. We're also able to meet patients where they are in a really unique way in that, if something's going on, we can, and you don't have to wait for the human to intervene. We could do some algorithmic problem solving. So you've got a headache, are you feeling sick? Give us some, and then it will take all of that structured data and it'll send it to our clinicians so that our clinicians can reach out to you after you've already answered some questions. Sometimes, depending on what the symptoms are, we're even able to solve it without even humans coming into the picture, depending on what it is. So I won't spend too much time on this. I think part of what I'm just trying to show is that, in many ways, having that real-time connection and that ability to drive personalized care does result in some pretty interesting outcomes. And so the blue line are some of the outcomes we see at Virta, pretty significant drop in A1C at 1 year and 2 years, very significant drops in body weight. And then, we're able to pull people off of their medications. And again, the technology piece is that we're able to personalize and individualize at scale. There's real-time continuous medical supervision because, again, there's all this data that's coming in. And then you have a lot of support from health coaches and other clinicians. So, and I'm going to share a quick video clip and then take some questions.
They told me I'd follow in my mother's footsteps. She died young from diabetes. That terrified me.
I was in constant pain, especially in my feet. I didn't know if I was going to be able to carry on doing my job with the pain that I was suffering from.
I was diagnosed at 27 with diabetes, and shortly after that, I was put on insulin. For me, that was scary.
They tell us all these things about what living with diabetes is all about.
What living with diabetes means.
But they're not true.
My job is to provide benefits and save the company money. I now have a life-changing solution for our employees and their families.
I'm not on insulin anymore, and it's a very big deal. Can't wait to see what's next.
I'm better at my job than I was 10 years ago. I don't deal with the constant pain, and I'm putting the young guys to shame.
So now I'm keeping up with my grandsons, and I'm eager to see what life has in store for me. I got teared up.